What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soul Hoops channel. We are going to be doing our mock draft 1.0 today, and we're also going to be doing some other, we'll talk about some of our favorite prospects as we go through them and they come across them. But before we get into that, Ryan, Matthias, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. I've worked, I think, last 6 days. So
Same. It's my first day off in a while.
yeah. I'm keeping busy. I work again tomorrow, and then I've got some days off. I'm going with my dad to New York just for a few days to hang out. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get into this mock. I have been consuming so much draft stuff in kind of this week break from the playoffs. So I'm excited to kind of get into the lottery, but also I'm anxiously waiting for the finals to start.
Yeah, same. No, I'm doing well. Busy this morning. I was pressure washing out in the rain.
Okay.
Fun times.
Nice.
That's why I'm soaked. But no, I've been really diving into the draft as well. Also, I kind of want to start diving into some WNBA stuff as the season picks up.
Same.
I've been really into this season as well, so I'm excited for the summer.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we are going to get a mock draft simulator pulled up here. So we will be right back. All right. And we are back. We got the Fanspo mock draft simulator. So here you can take a look. We are doing all teams. We're going to rotate through. I think I'm just going to give it I think we'll take a look here. We'll figure out who's going to do the first pick. We're going to do the full first rounder attempt to. Just a disclaimer, we have briefly looked at almost all the prospects, I would say, that'll be in this range, but we have not done deep dives into all of them. So if something is a little bit off, this is our 1.0 mock draft. So that's why we're going to use the ESPN official board. So this is not our big board that we've created or anything like that. And this will be the official draft order as well. So
I think as far as like our order, let's let Matthias go first so he can pick for Portland at 7.
Yeah, and 14.
Okay.
And 14.
Let's do that. Yeah. And 14. True.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's head right in here.
I'm so scared for the real draft, dude. I'm being completely honest.
All right, so Matthias is on the clock for the Atlanta Hawks.
I'm going to be pretty quick here. I'm going to take Sarr. I actually talked pre-show. We talked a little bit about him. He has some refinement that he has to do, but I think just the athleticism, the size, and also just like the coordination at that size is really impressive. And he's a perfect fit next to Trey. You take him. He seems like he might be a 4 to start. Well, he's going to be a 4 to start, but he can most likely play 5 as well. Something that the Hawks need is versatility on that front court.
Yeah, me and Ryan were talking about it as well, about how just because they're drafting Sarr, I like how you pointed out the playing the power forward. Just because they're drafting Sarr doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be trading one or both of their big men right away and resetting those positions, especially with I think some of the issues that Sarr still has to develop. I would not be surprised if they don't move either of those guys, like Okongwu or Capella, maybe until the deadline or at all next season.
I agree. Also, I think Sarr is both, because he stretches the floor with his mid-range. He loves to work in that mid-range spot. So I think you don't have to necessarily worry about spacing. Mm-hmm. And he's a theoretical 3-point stretch. So I really like him at a 4 or 5 position, and he really lets it lets the pick and roll and horn sets of Trae Young get really dangerous.
Yeah, and I think with Sarr too, as far as the news standpoint, like when they jumped up in the lottery to number 1, I think everybody assumed that Sarr would be the pick for a while, but I think as of recently, we're starting to hear more things about how Atlanta really doesn't know what they want to do for sure. They're bringing in like 7 or 8 guys in for workouts and interviews and evaluations. So at least from their point of view, it's not as clear as Sarr at number 1, like I think a lot of people thought initially. Apparently, they're super high on Klingon. Apparently, they're super high on Risache. I think they're high on a lot of these guys. So there's trade potential here. You know, they could surprise everybody and really reach for a guy. But I think playing it safe and going with Sar, I think is a good pick.
Yeah, and I honestly don't mind the Risache fit, and I actually really like the Clean fit, especially because
Yeah.
Sar might be a little bit more of a project, and it might take time on the offensive end. I think he's going to come. They're both going to come in and perform defensively, but it's just more of a. Klingon has been in a really complex college system, and he's played really well in it, and he's very pro ready. Like he's going to come in and be pro ready. I don't think he has the ceiling that Sar has, so it's one of those things. But I'd still take Sar. And also to touch on Risache real quick, Hawks need a lot on their roster, and he looks like he can be a really good off-ball player. It's one of the best on-ball players in the league. So I would also understand that. I would go Sar right now.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, I'll give you number 2.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if Sar is off the board by now, I think the Wizards probably go Risache. I just think that he, I just think that he's really good. For lack of better words, I think he's probably my second best player in the draft, maybe even best player right now. This is a guy who I mean, he's not going to be your face of the franchise if you're Washington. I think you're waiting to draft that guy next year or the year after. But I think Risache is a guy that is super complimentary to a main star or a pair of stars. I really get Michael Porter Jr. vibes from Risache. He's a guy that he can play. He plays off ball, really good shooter, quick release, high release point. But he can put the ball on the floor and he can attack closeouts. He's got good length. I think he'll grow into that frame a bit more and put on some muscle, which will make him more of a down low threat. This is a guy that I just really like, and I think at this point, I mean, if Sar is available at 2 for the Wizards, they take Sar and they don't think twice about it. But if I think Risache, they've got to be feeling pretty good about that too.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there about him. All right.
Yeah, I also think that it allows Risache to test the waters at being a ball handler for a year as a rookie. Because odds are they have a little bit of a stacked forward spot, but I think he can play 2.
I think he can play the 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the Rockets. This is a tough team for me to really see what they want to do. We know what they've been looking for in the trade market has been another shooting guard / wing, small forward hybrid with some offensive upside. But they've also been looking for a big man help, which they traded for Steven Adams, but he's also on a 1-year deal.
And just not that.
Yeah, like he's not that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I think I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to follow the board of ESPN. I think I'm going to go Klingon at 3 for them.
Interesting.
It gives them a 4 to 5 year answer at the center position alongside, Sengun. I think he could easily play with Sengun on the court. I think he could play by himself. He's also a little bit of a hub type player. He has experience running those post actions that they really like to use. And I think he's got some upside as a passer. And then he's just going to be a great defender, which we know Ime he's going to love. And I could just see them really liking him. And I think with the young guys that they have on the roster now, I think it'll be really easy for them to just plug and play him as another big on the roster. So I'll probably go Klingon number 3.
Yeah, I like it.
Especially because also it's pretty much a free pick for them. This is not where they were the 12th best team. 12. They probably would have been around 12 if they had their own pick.
Yeah, they were 41-41. Like this isn't, that's not the usual record that you see a team drafting at 3 would have.
Yeah. All right. So Matthias, then you are back up with the San Antonio Spurs.
All righty. Oh, this one's a little tough. I did see a report today that the only untouchables on the trade market for the Spurs was Vassell and Wemby, obviously. So
yeah,
Makes sense.
I don't think that's I guess they could look for another shooting guard, small forward, or whatever. But I'm thinking a more on ball guy. I'm really stuck in between the 3-point guards listed there: Castle,
Yeah.
Dillingham, and Topic. But really, Castle and Topic for me.
Me as well.
I think Castle can play a little bit more off ball, which I like, even though he said he wants to be a point guard. So
Yeah.
we'll
But
see
with
how much
that, I mean,
really like.
no NBA roster is constructing how a college offense is ran with a singular point guard handling. Like
Yeah,
1 through
exactly.
5 handles the ball in the NBA.
And I think
Yeah.
that with the way that you can build a Victor is that it's going to be a little freaky. So it's not everything's going to be normal while you're on the floor with him. But then I also could understand getting a small forward, power forward, and someone like Matas. Just supersize it. You know what I mean? Just go as supersized as you can. I don't know how real wingy they want to get. I think I would go with a Matas.
These are tough picks. Yeah.
I think I go with Matas just because I want to give. I think he can fit into that weird front court, but then also,
especially with them looking to
he's
move
thin enough.
Keldon.
Yeah.
Like they don't really have an answer at that wing position right now outside of Jeremy Sohan, which he's really not playing the 3 for you.
No, and I think Buzelis will start at the 3.
And yeah, I like that. I like that move. I think getting a wing guy and not a wing heavy draft who's also has the you can see the floor as not someone who's going to be a project player. He has impact right away. And then you have this 8th pick, and you have, let's say they have a similar grade around Reed, Castle, and Dillingham, and maybe even Topic. You got a similar grade around all these 4. You have another pick within the next 4 picks. One of your guys is going to be there. So I like that. I like that pick.
Yeah, theoretical spacer too, but I also just like the idea of having as many bigs as you can, just grab the ball and push the pace, because they would have Sohan, Buzelis, and Victor that could all be on the floor the whole time, and they could all be a fast break threat.
Yeah, for sure. I like that pick. For the Pistons at 5, I think with Matas off the board, I think Reed Shepherd is right there for the taking for them. It's no secret how desperately they need shooting and they need spacers. And I think Reed Shepherd is just that. He's a guy that can come in right away and just be an impactful player for them. The Pistons, they're just in a rough spot. I think as much as I think people want to say like you draft best player available when you're that bad, I also think that like that's part of what's gotten them in this mess a little bit, is that they have neglected fit over and over again. With the Jaden Ivey pick in 2021, I think the Asar pick last year is fine, but again, it's not a shooter. They've played multiple bigs out there at the same time. I think Reed Shepherd is their pick.
I agree. That's what I would do as well. I think it gives you an off-ball and on-ball scorer that can work with it, Cade, with Ivy, in that guard rotation. Just plug and play. He'll do whatever you need him to do.
Yeah,
I like that.
And speaking of Detroit, we found out a few days ago that Troy Weaver has officially been let go. I think the report was like they mutually came to the agreement to go their separate ways. But just to touch on that real quick, I think it was time for Detroit. They had a really bad year. I think that's an inexcusable year for a GM to have. And I like that their new guy, Trajan something, is getting to work early and kind of cleaning house a bit. So yeah, that's super quick.
All right, so I'm up with the Charlotte Hornets here. Looking at the roster here, I think you have your point guard, you have your wing, you have your big man. I do like Trey Mann a lot. I like Nick Smith. I like a lot. I like Nick Richards as well. I think they could pretty much go BPA for them, but I do think they need to focus on fit. I wouldn't get another guard, in my opinion. I just don't think you need it. But LaMelo does deal with a lot of injuries and stuff. I've seen some people mock Dillingham as a secondary creator, but I'm not really a fan of that fit. Because I just don't think LaMelo can theoretically guard twos, but I don't. His size is not translatable on defense. He's not a good defender. So I think I'm gonna do something a little fun here. I think I'm gonna come down, and I think I'm gonna go with a guy that's fallen a lot, but I think I'm gonna pull him up my board a little bit. I think I'm gonna go with Ron Holland.
I love
That's
that
a great pick.
I love that pick.
I think I'm gonna go Ron Holland. He struggled a little bit this year, to put it on it. He was projected number one. Him and Matas were like 1 and 2 at the beginning of the year, but he's got functional size to play the 3, the 4, I think, as well. And he'll be a good defender right off the bat. That's something that he still stayed with. The offense is not great, but he's an athlete with good size, and he'll be running the court with Brandon Miller, who's a high end spacer already at his young age. LaMelo as a playmaker and a shooter. He'll also be able to be that switchable wing guy for them. So I think just getting a good defensive wing and that can kind of develop the offense alongside already good offensive players, probably the best bet for them.
Yeah, I also think his offense is underrated. I think he has a really good feel when he has the ball in his hands, and he's like a walking paint touch almost. You know what I mean? He's got really good athleticism, and that includes the control. I actually am really, really high on him. The only thing on offense, in my opinion, is that like off ball, you can't really shoot. But then again, you got Brandon Miller, you got LaMelo. You got guys that for the future you can build around. I really like this pick.
And a corner 3-point shot is probably the easiest shot in basketball to develop outside of a wide open layup. So,
and if he opens up his playmaking with his like just ball handling and rim pressure, it can open up the whole game.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, they have money in free agency to kind of patch around some of the other holes in the roster. Like you can find a min guy who can shoot, or maybe you overpay one of the min guys to come play your 2 guard. You're not trying to win. I mean, you are trying to win, but you're not trying to win a championship here.
Yeah. All right. So this is the worst case scenario for Portland. Ron Holland and Matas are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to get a forward. You can't go guard. I've seen some people talk about Topic, but I don't. If I'm gonna go guard, I would say that's the best pick. But I think
you gotta. I think you have to go with a wing guy.
Yeah.
I think if you're going, I really like the Cody Williams fit. I know you're not a fan of it at 7.
I think it's a reach a little bit.
Yeah, but I do like the fit. I think he can play. He's not a great creator, but you have a bunch of guys in the lineup already. Like you have 4 guys on the roster right now, whether they're on the roster still, but they're all going to be in your guard rotation. They're all creators. They all can create for themselves and others.
Mm-hmm.
So him as a spot up shooter, I like, but also Dalton Connect could be pretty good. He's a shooter. He's got a little bit of upside in the creation.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm just worried about his size.
Yeah, but
we got 6-foot point guard, 6'4" shooting guard, a 6'6" small forward already, or 6'5" small forward, Shane Sharp. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not the best, I think. And also, you got to think about Simons could be on the trade block.
True.
I know what I'm going to do at 14, but as a fan, I have no idea what they will want to do at 7. Like, I have no idea what I want to do. I've gone back and forth with it. Yes.
7.
I have a guy that I have a guy for Portland that I think would be interesting, and that's Saloon.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously the biggest wing available on the board, and he's got some skills, but I don't know why, but part of me wants to go Topic. But I'm going to go Saloon because I have no guards. I think that's the right pick. Because I think the size is too much worry. And I think you're not going to be good. You're not going to be good next year. And
That's a perfect like I'm obviously they're both from France or whatever, but like I think this is a Bilal type guy where it's like he's an athlete, he's high motor, like he's gonna play good defense right away. The offense might not be there. He might not have all of the functional skills to be a high minutes guy right away, but he can just play minutes, and that gives you a really nasty off the bench defensive duo with Saloon and
Kamara.
Tumani Kamara. So
Yeah, Kamara might start small forward too or whatever. But also, we don't know what the roster is going to look like with the trades.
Yeah.
But having a defensive guy like that can build with your team is really important. I think a lot of people forget that sometimes there's too much offense, and you got to have an elite role player. And I think Saloon, he can be that for them and build with this team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Spurs at 8.
This is perfect for the Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of guards still left on the board. They already took a wing. So I think it just makes a ton of sense they go guard here. They've got 3 options. They've got Castle, they've got Dillingham, and they've got Topic. It's tough. This is really tough, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think Dillingham is the pick here. So I really think it's between Castle and Topic.
Agreed.
Ooh, you guys.
I think Topic has a higher playmaking upside, but I think Castle has a higher scoring upside.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also like
think
Castle defensively.
Yep.
True. I think I'm gonna go Topic here. Sorry.
No,
oh my god. I just
It's
had
draft music.
Yeah, my bad guys. FaceTime.
No,
Let
you're
me
good.
turn my do not disturb on. Anyway, I'm going Topic. I think if he were to fall to 8 in real life, I think people would be a bit surprised by that. He does have the injury thing going on, which I think has kind of lowered his stock a tiny bit. But this is a guy who's just a really good playmaker, just a big point guard, someone who's really good at getting downhill. The shot isn't there, but he's a good free throw shooter and has a good form. And I think that's something that could develop. Defensively, he's also not there, but when you have Wemby on that back line, I think you can get away with having a point guard who's not there yet. So, I mean, I think Topic is a guy that, like, I think he's going to be better suited to get Wemby the ball in advantageous spots than Castle is right now. Even though I love Castle as a prospect, and the Spurs would technically fit that bill of a team that kind of has a wide open lead guard position. I think Topic is the player I'd go with if I'm San Antonio.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
I
I like your
that as
reasoning.
well.
I am a big fan of the Castle and San Antonio fit just because of how putrid their perimeter defense was last year. But
Yeah,
building your offense, I think is going to be really important for them. And they have a ton of assets to fix stuff. And you never know with them with 2 top 10 picks and other assets as well. They might try to find one of those borderline star guys to take a bet on this year, maybe Garland or something like that. So like that pick a lot. Okay, Grizzlies. Wow. So there's no big on the. I think they're really praying that Klingon falls to them. I don't think he will. I think he's going to be one of the first 7, 8 guys taken. Which puts them in a bad spot for that. This is a loaded roster with a lot of talent on it, a lot of good role players. But I think they've been looking for it a lot as a wing scoring is what they've really been looking for a long time. Depending on what happens with Marcus Smart, he could be on the move. Kennard could be on the move. Like, there's a lot of guys. Brandon Clark could even get traded. I don't think they will. I think they'll see how he is before his injury before they move him. But I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna keep him. Tennessee to Tennessee. I think I'm gonna go Dalton Connect. Provides some electric shooting,
what's available,
a ton of shooting, It'll be a cheap contract. He might be, if his creation is even, he wasn't, getting in a deep bag a lot of the time. He's not breaking dudes down in college, but he's still a functional athlete, good athlete. His scoring ability, the ability to catch fire, I think is just going to help them so much. Catch and shoot guy on the wing, can play the 2 or the 3. And you need that when you have John Morant on your team. You need shooters. And I think this is the probably the most safe bet for a team that should not be picking this high.
So they're trying to win, right?
Yeah.
And
they've done trying to take a bet on a guy like Zaire Williams, which I think would kind of be like if they took Cody Williams. I think that's kind of that same thing. He has like one or two skills that he's functional at in the NBA, but he does not have a ton of other skills that you think are translatable. I think they just need to go with the safe pick, keep building the high end roster.
Yep,
I agree.
All right, Utah Jazz.
All right, this one I think is pretty easy. I know that they went Keontae George last year, but I think you go versatile backcourt and you get Stephon Castle.
I like that fit a lot. I think Keontae George is good enough shooter to play off ball a lot too. So you have those minutes staggered. You're probably looking. I mean, there's a good chance you move off Sexton. Jordan Clarkson's a possible move off guy as well. So I like those. I like that pickup a lot. And they have a ton of wings that they've traded for. So I don't think they're looking at wings. So.
They're looking for a guard, and a 6'7" guard that can play 1 and 2 is that's prototype.
Yeah.
All right, and then Chicago Bulls at pick 11. I think there are a lot of good players still on the board here. Rob Dillingham still being on the board at 11 is definitely it's eye catching, but I just don't think they need another guard. I mean, their guard room is really stacked right now. Lonzo they think is coming back this year. They have Alex Caruso, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Ayo Dosunmu, Dalen Terry. Those are a ton of guys that Dillingham would have to kind of break through to be in the rotation. So I'm not really feeling that. Cody Williams is really interesting. Devin Carter is I don't think they need, but that guy can fit on any team. I'm convinced.
I saw news say he got a lottery promise allegedly.
I heard that. Yeah. I mean, not surprising. That guy's a dog. We gotta watch some Devin Carter film eventually.
Oh yeah, no, he's on the list.
Part of me wants to go for potentially a reach for Chicago, and right now I'm kind of eyeing Kel'el Ware for them. It would definitely be a reach.
I don't know if it is.
Yeah,
I think he's a lottery talent, man.
He does have a talent, but I think there are definitely concerns that kind of hold him back, even though I do think they're probably a bit overblown. There have been concerns with his work ethic, his motor, his attitude, but there are guys in every draft who kind of get those labels in the process and kind of shake them off. So honestly, let's have some fun. Let's go with Kel'el Ware. I think that.
Oh, I hate you. That's a good pick.
I knew that's who you were targeting at 14. I knew you were. I knew that's who it was.
Dude, I'm huge on Kel'el Ware, man. That's a really good pick.
If Portland can get Kel'el Ware, they've got to be ecstatic. But I like him in Chicago a lot. I mean, Vucevic Drummond is probably going to go to some other team because some other team is going to pay Drummond, and then you've got Vucevic on the roster, and then
nobody else.
So get Kel'el Ware in there when they do eventually move on from Vucevic. I think Ware could be ready to be that center for them. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I like.
And the one thing I want to do is talk about the Kel'el Ware. I think he got wrongfully labeled about his work ethic. He was a 5-star that went to Oregon and he didn't translate the first year. I don't think that was something that was necessarily due to his work ethic. I think sometimes you just need to change your scenery and you need. Yeah. And the Oregon, I don't want to diss on the Oregon program, but it hasn't been great in the last couple years off of recent memory. But I guess they did have a good tournament run, but compared to what we're used to, I don't want to blame Ware because I think he's a great player that showed his improvement from year 1 to year 2 is huge, and you don't get that by being lazy.
Definitely.
All right. God, I get all these teams that suck.
Well,
what do you mean?
That suck to
Oh,
draft for, man.
yeah.
I gotta say one thing about this pick first. I think it would be really tough if OKC passed on Cody Williams. I mean, J-Dub's brother, he's right there. Like, I feel
yeah,
like that would be
I
a
was
tough
thinking
pass.
about that, and I know that Presti is corny like that, and he would be like, want to do that.
Yeah.
I think this could be a team that drafts Khalil Ware so well very early. If
Yeah.
he moves up their board, they need big men. I think there's a possibility that because let me look, they have their contracts on here, don't they? Before I make this choice, I just want to double check. So Aaron Wiggins is on a 1-year deal, and he's very good. There's other guys that I think are going to probably demand contract. They're going to get priced out, especially with how expensive this roster is going to get. Isaiah Joe also 1-year deal. I think getting I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be corny, whatever. Cody Williams, it's J-Dub's brother, but regardless of that, really good off-ball player. I think he has at least a floor as a movement shooter in the NBA. As a stationary guy, I think he can come off screens, all that kind of stuff. So, I guess I'll go Cody Williams here. Especially with the size, they like tall, lengthy guys that can spread the floor. So
yeah, and I think that replaces Giddey at the shooting guard spot. 'Cause I think that's someone that they'll move on from as well to fill the power forward role. I don't think, obviously, this draft we're struggling looking at the order. I know it's 1.0, but I think there will be picks that will seem like reaches, and there will be a lot of confusion from fans watching the draft. But I think OKC isn't going to get a forward, even though that's what they need. I think it's smart to draft that. I guess he's technically a small forward, but a shooting guard. He's going to be a shooting guard until he puts on weight, and I think he fits that kind of goofy feel that OKC has, and I mean that positively. I love him. I love.
Yeah, I got you. So then, Matthias, you're up with the Kings then, eh?
All right, the Kings.
I'm gonna put this out there. I think this might be the Devin Carter promise team.
I was about to say, I think I'm gonna go Devin Carter. I think he's the right fit, and he's someone that I think is gonna come in and produce now, but also I think he's got a little bit left, a little bit of juice. I don't want to say like star potential, but really, really good player potential.
Yeah,
and I like him.
Yeah.
And I know that they weren't super high on like their bench guards, so.
And Monk's probably walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. 14 with Portland. Ryan, you are up.
Yeah. So this is a tough spot too. So who did we take for them? Saloon?
Yeah.
Saloon. Yep. So they have their wing. Again, they have a heavy guard rotation as is before trades and all that. But I'm seeing Rob Dillingham still on the board at 14, and it's looking like that would be kind of hard to pass up on for them. I mean, he's right there. He's clearly extremely skilled. If Anthony Simons does get traded, if Malcolm Brogdon does get traded, I mean, you've got Scoot, you've got Shaden, and I think you can add another guard to that, no problem. Jacoby Walter, I think this is a bit high for him. Jared McCain, I think is, if you're going to draft McCain, you might as well just draft Dillingham. Edie, too high. De Silva, that's interesting.
I like De Silva a lot. That was De Silva. I don't mind De Silva's fit, but dude, it's hard.
It is hard, yeah. Because in my mind, De Silva is a guy that would just get drafted by. He'd be like this year's Jaime Jaquez a bit, and he'd go to a good team.
Mhm.
Um, Man, I'm pretty stumped here. I think I'm gonna go Rob Dillingham just because he is still on the board at 14. Um, at 14, you might as well just draft a guy you know is going to be pretty good. And yeah, I mean, there's just so much room for their guard room to be shaken up. Like again, Anthony Simons is a trade candidate. Malcolm Brogdon, I think, will get traded. So Rob Dillingham can be that guy, and also like there's still some uncertainty about Scoot and what he is going to be for this team like in the future and especially right now. So I think getting Dillingham would be a smart pick.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. That's why part of me was thinking guard at 7.
Yeah.
Simons, he's my favorite player in the league, but he has what seems like he's reached probably what he's going to be. Brogdon doesn't fit our timeline, and Scoot again is. I'm not sold on Scoot, but I'm also not selling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a very good player, but he has question marks.
Yeah, I think they can take a guard here, but taking a guard at 7, I think would be a very loud pick after the year Scoot just had. So I think them getting their guard at 14, I think would feel a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if they do go guard, it'll be someone that's like 6'7".
Yeah,
that could play multiple positions, but be a ball handler on the offensive side. So
yeah.
it'll be like Castle or Topic.
If they picked him at 7, I agree. I'm upright with the Heat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really think they could use Jeremy McCain, but I'm not sure if he's the personality type that they really target, to be honest. Even though he's a really hard worker and he's a really good player. I don't know if that's the type of player that they would out there personality. That's not really their kind of thing, I think they really need some offensive help, but they do have a kind of like a log jam at some of these positions, which is really weird. But they're trying to win. They could use a big man if you want to reach a little bit. But I really like Jovic playing the power forward and center hybrid next year.
Yeah. They don't have any like major holes on their roster as far as positions go. I mean, they like
point
guard. Yeah. That's definitely true. I mean, I think their backcourt as is with Rozier and Hero is still fine, but definitely getting some depth, I think, could be good for them. And also, like the Jimmy Butler thing,
they're gonna pay him.
They're probably gonna pay him, but it's not a guarantee. And I think Pat Riley is a guy where if he doesn't want to pay him, he just won't. So I mean, there's some uncertainty here, but
I'm gonna push a guy up the board a little bit here again. I'm not a big fan of him, but Isaiah Collier from USC could be a guy that I could go with here. I think he's good defensively. I think the offense has a little bit to go. But getting another guard with some scoring upside potential, and they develop players like nobody else. So
true.
I think if there's someone to work through his issues on offense that he has shown, I think they could be them. I really don't think they need another gadget wing guy. That I was thinking Tristan De Silva could be a really good Heat guy, but I don't know if they really need that again. They're going to be giving more minutes to Jaime next year, and also Haywood Highsmith as well, which is a guy I expect them to try to re-sign. So I think I'm definitely going to say that I'm going to go Collier. I think
I like that a lot. Actually. Yeah,
that's not a bad pick. I'm pretty low on him, but again, I think for him it's all about fit. And I think he fits well there.
Yeah. Sixers.
De Silva is immediately the name off the top of my head. They got Maxey, Embiid. The worry is Tobias, really.
Well, he's walking.
Long
They're letting
yeah.
him walk.
So, like, there's going to be room open at the forward spots. And I think we talked about it. De Silva, I think, can come in and be a competitor immediately. Do they still have oh my god, what's their backup big?
Paul Reed?
Paul Reed. Is he on contract?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what his contract is. I think they go to Silva, small forward, power forward.
Yeah,
I like it.
So De Silva then for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think they just need more role players. They're just gonna need to fill out the roster.
Yeah.
They're
I think he has a little juice too.
They're gonna target another star this offseason. And they're gonna probably overpay for Paul George. But I don't mind that. I think getting to Silva a really good guy to just plug and play that can do a bunch of little things for them, kind of like Batum did this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Lakers.
This is interesting, man.
I think this one's pretty easy, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would go McCain. I think he fits. I think he'd love the city of LA, number one. And I think point guard that could shoot the hell out of the ball and has a little bit of juice. Yeah. I think that's exactly what they need, because you don't want to take the ball out of LeBron's hands, really. But I think McCain can play off ball as a point guard.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to follow your lead there for sure, and probably go McCain with this pick. McCain's from California. I think he'd be coming home to Cali. I think this guy is kind of built for those bright lights a little bit. Like him as a personality, I think would do well, or maybe crash and burn in that Lakers media world. It just I think I like that pick for them, and yeah, I mean, it gives them a guard. D'Angelo Russell, he declined his player option this summer, I believe. Spencer Dinwiddie is just not good. I think they could use another guard, so I like that. I like that pick, Matthias, and I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. Provides them spacing, which is something they've had problems with. And he can play on and off the ball. So
yeah. I think the on ball might take a little bit longer to translate, but the shooting, I think he can play himself onto the floor with that immediately.
Yeah, and that's a necessity for a LeBron James team. If you're a guard, you have to be able to play off the ball, because you aren't going to have the ball in your hands most of the time anyway. So I like that pick for them. Though
they probably want McCain. I think they would be targeting McCain. They need shooting desperately. I am really. They need offense. Really bad. I think this could be another pick where they kind of reach on someone, push someone up their board a little bit. I'm gonna get another guy that's a asshole big man. People don't like. I just think that some of these guys are too much of unknowns, and they're trying to win again. So I think Kyle Filipowski might be someone that can plug and play as a backup four. Yeah, he might move on from Wendell Carter this offseason. Mo Wagner is on a 1-year deal as your power forward center hybrid guy as a backup. You're going to need another big man. You don't know what's going to be long term with Jonathan Isaac. So I think I'm going to go Kyle Filipowski. And just, he can space the floor from that 4 spot, play alongside. I think when they go to those small ball lineups, where they try to let Paulo go out there with a bunch of shooters. This just adds another guy that can go out there and create offense for you. I think he can play in the post. I think he can also stretch the floor. So
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I think they should just take whoever they feel the most comfortable with playing into their roster right away.
Mm-hmm. All right, Matthias, your pick.
Can I see the rest of the Raptors roster?
Yeah. This is all I can see, but
See? Okay, yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go Bub Carrington.
I like that.
Interesting.
I think he is a super skilled guard.
This is my guy. This is my guy in this draft.
I love his play.
This guy's awesome.
I think his 3-point shot will come around. It's not even that bad. He shot like 32.5%. Like you would love to see it higher, but it's college. No, I love him. I think he can get in the paint for them really easy, and he can. I do think Quickly can play on ball, but he's better when he's not the main creator, or like you know what I mean, playing off somebody that can really get in the paint, work the ISO as well. I think it's something that the Raptors need, like a go-to guy on offense, and I think Carrington can be that, whether off the bench or if he plays his way into the starting spot.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you're up, Ryan. We got Cavs.
Yeah, Cavs. I think they're still looking for that 3. We're seeing some reports that they actually kind of want to keep that core 4 together. So if they are going to run it back another time, I think you definitely look for that. And I think a guy that they could be interested in is Tyler Smith. I think he's a bit down in the available players, but I like Tyler Smith. He's a guy that 6'10". He's a small forward. They need that big wing. My bad. They need that big wing. I think they can slot him in. He can either come off the bench or he can just take that starting role right away. He's a guy who can shoot. He can defend. He can just do the things they need. So I'm going Tyler Smith.
All right. Yeah, I don't mind the pick there.
Yeah, he's someone that's kind of fallen, but I think he can do a lot. I think he has some juice.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Again, wow. Number 3. I should have taken number 2. I should have given you these picks, man, Ryan. These ones suck.
Bad picks, man.
All right. I'm gonna go. I think you really are gonna probably need a center.
This, I think, as a team, I think Lebowski would be perfect on.
Yes, yeah. I agree. I also think they could use a guard.
Oh, I guess he's kind of the.
I think they use. I think this is a guard or a big man. I'm not the. I think Yves Missy is a little bit raw for this team, and I don't know. And he's not gonna be a shooter.
No.
But I do like his athleticism and his ranginess as a defender. But I think they have too many spacing issues right now. I think I'm gonna go with a point guard here. I think I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna put Kolek up my board a little bit.
Okay.
I think he can plug and play as a point guard who can play make, run a half court offense. He's a good enough offensive player on both, to run the offense, and that's what they need. They need someone else that can play make for them at the guard position and not shot chuck, which is what CJ does a lot of the time. So I'm going to push Kolek up the board. I think Day'Ron Holmes is another guy that I considered to play the 4-5, but he's a little bit undersized. So, yeah. This team sucks as well. So,
So they have all the offense
yep.
in the world with no center. I love Nurk fever, but I have to be realistic here. But Jacoby Walter's still on the board, but the offense is the question.
It's just not what
You know
they
what I
need.
mean?
It's not what they need.
I don't think it's what they need. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's Keyshawn George, right? Or is it Keyshawn? I spelled.
I think it's
I'm
Kaishan.
Keyshawn. I've never heard it. I've only read it, so I don't know.
I like the
apologize.
Missy fit here, to be honest.
Yeah, but also a 6'8" shooting guard that could play off ball. Because George shot like
Sounds
40%
like their entire
on 5
roster.
attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of them were like, I guess they have Allen. Yeah, I think Missy's the fit. Just kind of a do it all like defensive guy. Like he's just gonna work hard. He's gonna he might get a foul some foul trouble, but he's gonna block shots. He's gonna rebound, and that's what they need.
Yeah, I like that. You sure want to go Missy?
Yeah, because I don't think Edie fits there. I'm gonna go Missy.
All right. Bucks. Ryan, don't mess this up. I'm coming for you.
Is Ryan Dunn still on the board?
He is.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a few guys I like here.
Yeah, I like Ryan Dunn with this team. They do need a big. Edie is still there, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that to you, Jeff. This is tough.
I think there's 3 guys that I would really like here that are available. Yeah. Because Jacoby Walter has fallen so far, I don't mind. I would not have a problem with that pick.
Yeah.
I think they still do need some offensive help off the bench. I think they really do need. They're going to need to find a shooting guard that can space the floor and play and be athletic, which Jacoby Walter is. I think he has defensive upside.
Yeah.
I would like Day'Ron Holmes a lot here. I don't agree with him being 45 on ESPN's big board at all.
I'm really high on him.
Yes. Yeah. And then the other 2 guys are Jalen Tyson and Ryan Dunn.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan Dunn is a guy I like a lot for them. Jacoby Walter also. I mean, what you said, him being available is also hard to pass up. I think it's similar to the Dillingham to Portland. Like, you weren't expecting him to be there, but I think if he is there, I think you should just take him because I mean, he's good and he does fit what they need. So I think let's go Jacoby Walter at 23.
Yeah. I think one of the underrated things that the Bucks have really people say point guard play, like backup point guard play. I'm personally a fan of giving Ty Washington a shot next year. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about him, but otherwise just find him vet min guy. But Jacoby Walter, I think, has upside as a combo guard. You're gonna have Dame. You need someone for the regular season to play backup point guard, but when it comes to a playoff setting, Dame's playing 40 minutes a game. Giannis is playing 40 minutes a game. Chris is going to be playing 40 minutes a game. Like there's a lot of ball handlers on that roster already. So I'm a big fan of that. I really do think they need a big man is my main thing. But I think if you have a lottery talent that falls into your lap at 23, with that sort of upside as a creator, I think that's like Cam Whitmore, kind of like a lower end of what Cam Whitmore falling to 20 last year. So
yeah.
Okay, Knicks. They have back-to-back picks here. Big man is probably going to be a need. They're probably going to end up losing one or both of Precious and Isaiah Hartenstein. I think they could resign him. If they resign that, if they as soon as the finals wraps up, they can't even do extensions with them, eh? I hate that free agency is after the draft in the NBA. It makes no sense. They should flip the free agency day and the draft day starting, and that'd be great. Just like the NFL does, because that way you know what you need. I think Tibbs guys, Ryan Dunn, Jalen Tyson, definitely guys there that I really like for them. Plug and play wings. You're gonna be losing Alec Burks. OG Anunoby said he's resigning, but you never know with stuff like that. So you do probably need. I think I'm gonna go with one of my favorite guys in the draft, Jalen Tyson out of Cal.
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit of a do-it-all of everything type of guy. Play defense, on offense. You know, he can kind of I think he's got to find his role, but going to be really good at defense, rebounds the ball well. And the offense is better. I think him and Ryan Dunn are very similar players, but I think Tyson's offense is a little bit above where Ryan Dunn's is at right now.
Yeah.
So I like that pick for them.
Yeah, and then Knicks again.
All right, so immediately I'm thinking Daron Holmes.
That's what I was gonna pick. That is between him, but I was like, and the other guy, but I was like, I think the big man position. I didn't think it really mattered.
Yeah, but then also, I really like I know they're gonna probably lose some centers, but I don't really like the centers that are available at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously like George from earlier. I think he is someone that the Knicks are in a position where like they're trying to win now, so you need a guy that has a skill that can play himself onto the floor now. You're looking for those type of guys.
Yeah.
And 40% on 5 attempts that's a skill. You can come in and shoot. Can you scroll down a little bit on the all?
Yeah.
I don't have a big board on me. I do like Ryan Dunn. He could just go another wing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ryan Dunn can even play the 4.
Yeah.
With his athleticism, his defensive capabilities. So I would be a fan of that because I think Tyson's going to be that 2-3. I think Dunn could be your 3-4 backup hybrid guy.
Mm-hmm. Can you scroll? What's their roster looking like? Yeah, they need a backup 4.
Which could be Daron Holmes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I like
Daron Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to pain me to not see him in a Bucks uniform, but.
And I know I saw Dayton fans are hating that a lot of people have him mocked here at 25.
Because of how they did at Obi.
Yeah. But I think he just fits.
Yeah. Personally, he's who I want the Bucks to take at 23. Unless a guy really falls, like a McCain, Jacoby Walter, someone like that. Unless they fall, I think Daron Holmes should be our pick. He's just so good defensively, switchable, can shoot the ball, can create for himself a little bit out of the mid-range. Wizards, Ryan. I have a pick. I think I know who I would go with them here.
For the Wizards, I'm going with Edey.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, they like. I don't
they have
know.
No center on the roster.
They have no centers on the roster. They need a center really bad. I think even if Edey just sucks in the NBA, I don't think you feel that bad about it because you already picked at 2.
Yeah,
2
is the pick that matters.
Yeah, you already have your guy from this draft, and I think Edey just kind of serves as a low risk, potentially high reward type of guy. They just need a big. Like I think if they don't draft a big with this second pick, whether it's Edey or not, I think that would be super surprising because then I think that means they're hoping they can get somebody through trade or through free agency. And I think if Edey's there, I think you just take him. So I'll go with Zach Edey for them.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. And you know, it's an experiment. Like you're not going to be good. You're tanking again next year.
You're going to be bad anyway. Yeah, that's the worst that can happen.
And you can just see at this if Edey's good and his post work translates and that touch translates well, and he's a 15 and 10 guy, you know, like You got a 15 and 10 guy who can set good screens, roll, and
And he's huge. And
Yes.
it's the era of the big men. So if his
Huge.
defense translates, he can be a post defender
yeah.
on someone. I don't want to say he can guard Jokic, but if he plans out some for four body that can a little agile, you need that in today's league.
Yeah.
Timberwolves for me. God, dude.
All the
Okay,
good teams.
I'm never taking pick 3 rotation again when we do one of these. Oh my goodness.
We can just rotate. So then
Yeah.
like you can
Yeah,
have
that's. Oh, this sucks. They're hard. I don't think it's necessarily that hard to draft. I think ideally they're looking for someone that has the upside to develop as a creator, from the guard or wing position. I think that's like the only hole on their roster right now, and a point guard of the future. But I don't know. I don't really like any of these guys, like the true point guard, like Juan Nunez. I don't really know much about, so I'm not going to push him up the board. They do need shooting. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Kaishan George.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Really good shooter. I think he's young. I think he's only 18, maybe 19. He's super young. They did something similar last year, drafting a super young guy with tons of upside potential in a position that they might need. This provides a guy that can play alongside Ant when Ant's playing the point guard type minutes that he does play. Instead of, and he's going to have a flamethrower right away. He's going to be one of those guys. And he can also play. He can probably slot in as a 3 with how good defensively they are, and with that Conley, Ant, McDaniels, Kaishan, and Rudy or Cat. Like that could be a really good lineup for them as well. So even if he doesn't have to play, he can go down to the G League, develop his creation more. But if he does need to play, he can just shoot the ball. So I really like his fit there.
Yeah, I like that fit too. I think the Wolves would love to come away from this draft with a real point guard. Just because McLaughlin is a free agent this summer. Monte Morris is a free agent this summer. Kyle Anderson is a free agent this summer, and that's another guy who takes on a lot of that initiating responsibility. Mike Conley is 37 years old. Like they need point guards. They really do. And unfortunately for them, there just aren't a ton of really great ones on the board at 27. Bub Carrington is the guy that if he falls at 27, I think you take him, and I think you feel amazing about it. But in this mock, if he's already gone, I think you take Kaishan, because at least he's going to provide you with shooting. Someone who can play defense and kind of fit that defensive focused team they have over there. And I do like that pick.
Yeah, I mean he's lengthy. I believe he's 6'8", so
yeah,
he's someone that fits that switchable defensive scheme. No, I really like him in Minnesota. Denver to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think ideally they want a big man, but I don't know if there's one on the board that I'm really looking to take right now.
I know Clintman or whatever has been. He had a really good combine. Apparently, he was impressing people during the scrimmages.
They might be losing KCP
so
as
good.
well.
Yeah,
true.
This is a hard pick. I'm trying to think of what they're. It's so hard because they're such a good team. Like, what are they really missing?
Yeah, I think you could probably look for. I don't know if there's one comfortable. I just don't know enough about these borderline first round point guard guys. Point guard play probably as backup. I think Reggie Jackson is under contract for one more year. But he's obviously not a long-term answer. I think you could look to possibly get another wing scoring type guy, because that backup offensive unit has been absolutely horrid on offense.
What do you, man? This
I
is
think I go. I
tough.
think I go Klintman here. I think I go Bobby.
Yeah.
My immediate thought is the backup for you need
Yeah.
something.
Is he in a Dragon Ball jersey? I don't know. No, it's okay. It's just something. I thought it was a Dragon Ball jersey. I thought it was a Dragon Ball jersey for a second there. Yeah, I like that. I think taking a swing on an upside big. Somebody that can play 4 or 5.
Yeah, and if they have a higher grade on one of the guards, I think you take it.
Yeah, I could like Kevin McCullough there as well. A little bit more of a cemented player. Obviously, you don't know if the scoring there is really that real because wasn't a scorer at all in college until his senior year. But he did play at Kansas with a lot of good players, so you never really know with that. But I think I'd be fine with that. Utah Jazz. Ryan. They took Stephon Castle with their first pick at number 10.
Yeah. Utah. I think let's go Johnny Furphy for them. I think it's a very, very inoffensive pick at 29. He's still there. He's young. He's 19. He's 6'9". He's big. He's a shooter. I think can do a bit more than that, especially coming into the NBA so young. Like, I just think I think that there are things that they can do with him. Their shooting guard kind of depth is maybe a bit bloated right now. But again, you look at the board, like what other picks for them really blow you away? Like there aren't a ton of other great picks for their team needs that are on the board at 29. So, I think Furphy kind of does the job at 29.
Yeah, I think at that point they're a team where you're just best player available too.
Yep.
So it really matters who falls, and who they have worked out and who they have scouted. And obviously, we're not going to know that. And I like that pick.
Yeah. Boston.
Yeah, Boston here.
Problem is, like, this player's not going to play, whoever you draft.
I actually disagree. I think they could get a guy that can play the wing for them right away. Take over those Hauser, O'Shea type minutes. If there's a big man that somehow fell all the way down, like Dayron Holmes or
a backup big wouldn't be a bad.
I think they could do that. They have a second rounder, which I would probably feel more comfortable using my second rounder on a guy like, these like developmental bigs, I'm going to go. I could also see Ryan Dunn as well. Just get another crazy switchable defender there. I'm going to go. I don't know. I could also see him going Justin Edwards as a project guy. But I don't think I'm not a big fan of him. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Kevin McCullough.
I like that.
Has offensive capabilities we've seen. We don't know what that's going to look like at the next level because he hasn't sustained offensive production like I was talking about earlier. But he's ready to play right now. He's an older guy. He can play the 2 for you. He can play the 3. He could be your long-term fit just as like the 8th, 9th guy that has to play in the regular season, as that combo as a wing guard combo guy. So
yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah.
So this is our full first round mock. Is there anything that you guys see that you didn't like really? I probably don't really like this Filipowski pick now that I actually made it and look at it, but
yeah, I probably would have done Bub right there.
Yeah, I probably should have taken Bub Carrington or Jacoby Walter.
One pick I would have made is if I'm Toronto at 19, I think I'd go on Missy. I think
Really?
I've been just doing my own kind of mock drafts, like, 3 times a day just for fun. That's just kind of a pick that I've been liking. Jakob Poeltl is their center right now. He's not. I mean, he does the job well, but if they want to kind of embrace this youth movement that they've been on, they traded Pascal, they traded OG. I think if they wanted to either trade Jakob or just get a center that could kind of take his place when he kind of moves on, I think Missy could be that. He's athletic, super athletic. He's a rim protector. He plays defense. You have that around Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett. I think that's a guy that I would pick at 19. But other than that, I really, really like kind of how this mock draft turned out, especially the lottery. I feel like the lottery, I feel like every pick just kind of feels right, and it just makes sense team by team.
Yeah.
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 I think I want to touch on the Carrington pick. For that, I'm not as high on BC's like long-term like value in terms of, I think he's going to be like a good role player.
Yeah.
But I think Carrington is someone that is going to be really good in the league. And
For sure.
Quickly, I think you need a number one ball handler on that team because they don't really have one. And I think I'd go there, and then in the future drafts.
True.
Hopefully when you have a draft pick, when like your lottery pick, you can get a big or a big wing that can play like a versatile 4 or 5.
Yeah, and Bub Carrington for them is a downhill threat too, and they don't really have that at the guard position. Quickly is a guy that is going to play on the perimeter. RJ Barrett is, he doesn't have like one main spot where he gets his points, but plays on the perimeter mostly. Same with the guy like Grady Dick, obviously. So having Carrington as kind of a contrast from that makes a lot of sense too at 19. Yeah. I mean, I'm just super high on him in general. So I think you could rationalize him going as high as, I don't, like 15 if the Heat just wanted him. Like wouldn't even surprise me that much.
Yeah. I think I probably, my one, like I said, I think I probably should have taken Jacoby Walter at 18.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they really are looking for another off-ball guard. So
yeah.
So I don't know. But I think another thing too, I think I do like this Cavs pick of Tyler Smith. I think it'd be really good for them to get like a offensive upside wing guy.
Mm-hmm.
But even though they've had a good defense, I think I would really like the Jalen Tyson or Ryan Dunn fit there as their 3 to play the 3 with them.
Yeah.
Another defensive guys. You already have this crazy offensive engine, theoretically duo. But I do like the offensive upside. I think they do need some offensive fix. So I think I do like the Tyler Smith pick, and I'd be fine.
They're also just in a tough spot overall. I think if De Silva were to fall to them, I think they'd be ecstatic about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is why I think this draft is so interesting because, like, honestly, picks 1 through 8 are pretty interchangeable.
They're really hard. But some people are so high on Castle too that you could say 1 through 9 as well, because we had him at 10, but that was mainly just due to team fit.
Yeah, for sure. And then like really after the lottery, like once you get to Cody Williams and lower than that, it's like, we've got Kel'el Ware at 11. Some people would take Kel'el Ware at like, late 20s. So I think I mean this draft is just so everybody's so interchangeable. It's going to depend on how how players perform in their workouts.
100%.
It's going to depend on once teams get medicals. It's going to depend on interviews. It's going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend on trades. Absolutely. You look at Houston at 3. they're a team that's primed to trade that pick. You know, Brooklyn is a team that they've been linked to. They could get Klingon for as for Claxton insurance if he were to move on. We've already talked about Atlanta potentially moving back. Spurs consolidating their picks. There's so much room for movement here. So yeah, I think that just about wraps it up though for the mock drafts 1.0.
Yep.
We could probably do one more as we get like really close to the drafts, but I think this is a good kind of benchmarker for where we're at.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everyone who made it through this video all the way to the end. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're going to have 2 to 3 more draft analysis film school videos coming out this week for sure with Nikola Topic and TJ's Saloon. And then we might start our film on the G League Ignite guys, which is Tyler Smith, Ron Holland, and Matas Buzelis. So keep your eye out for that if you want to check out those videos when they come out. They're usually 30 minutes to an hour of us talking about them and doing our grading system. So turn on notifications for those when they come out. Appreciate anyone who's made it through here, and peace out.
Peace.
Peace.